Hi, and welcome to BreakingNews, your one-stop source for the latest insights into Nigeria's economic and policy developments. Today, we're unpacking an unprecedented budget proposal that could reshape Nigeria's economic landscape for years to come. The federal government has set forth a staggering N47.9 trillion budget for 2025, aimed at driving growth, infrastructure expansion, and fiscal reforms. This proposal was outlined by Atiku Bagudu, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, after a Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's dive into the framework behind this proposal and what it could mean for Nigerians, the economy, and investors. First, let's look at the foundation of this budget, Nigeria's new medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, for 2025 to 2027. Now, what's the MTEF all about? It's essentially a 3-year planning tool that guides spending priorities and aligns them with economic goals and fiscal realities. For 2025, it's designed to ensure spending is predictable, help manage national debt, and keep Nigeria on track for growth. The MTEF is a roadmap projecting revenue, expected spending, and setting targets for areas where economic growth is essential. A cornerstone of this budget is the oil benchmark, set at $75 per barrel. This is a critical number because oil exports remain a major revenue source for Nigeria. This benchmark is neither too low nor too high. $75 is stable enough to support the fiscal plans without risking shortfalls if the price fluctuates. Alongside the benchmark, the government has set an oil production target of 2.06 million barrels per day. Achieving this level means ramping up production and securing oil facilities, especially in regions like the Niger Delta, where production has often been disrupted by security issues. Moving on to the exchange rate, the budget pegs it at N1,400 to the dollar. This updated rate reflects recent currency devaluation, signaling the government's realistic approach to market dynamics. The higher rate has significant implications affecting import costs and inflation, which in turn impacts everyday prices. But it could also incentivize local production as imported goods become more expensive, potentially boosting Nigeria's own industries. Now onto an ambitious target, a GDP growth rate of 6.4%. This is more than double Nigeria's recent average growth of about 2 to 3%, a number weighed down by low oil revenues and global disruptions. Achieving 6.4% would put Nigeria among the world's faster-growing economies. To reach it, the government will likely focus on infrastructure development, supporting agriculture and manufacturing, and fostering a more business-friendly environment to attract local and foreign investors. The overarching goals of this budget fall under the administration's Prosperity for All agenda. Priority areas include infrastructure, education, health, and security. Infrastructure development is central, as Nigeria needs better roads, energy solutions, and digital infrastructure to improve productivity and make the economy more competitive. We could see extensive funding directed toward projects like highway expansion, power generation, and upgrades to the nation's ports. Improving infrastructure is intended to address some of Nigeria's long-standing challenges, particularly in electricity and transportation. Education and health are other major priorities. The budget aims to improve the quality of these services with investments to address shortages of healthcare workers, better equipment, and more accessible care. In education, there's likely to be a focus on funding primary and secondary schools, supporting teacher training, and expanding vocational education. Health spending will target Nigeria's pressing issues, like maternal and child health, ensuring people can access quality care. Security spending is also significant in this budget, and for good reason. Improving national security is essential for stability and economic growth, attracting foreign investments, and supporting tourism. The budget's allocations here aim to strengthen the armed forces, police, and intelligence services to combat insurgency, banditry, and crime. But such an ambitious budget also raises questions, especially about funding. Nigeria's debt is high, and managing it sustainably is a top concern. The government will need diverse revenue streams, including taxes, loans, and possibly public-private partnerships. Boosting revenue will also depend on improving tax collection and reducing oil theft. Expanding the non-oil sector is another key strategy, as a more diversified economy would be more resilient to global price fluctuations. For perspective, N47.9 trillion is a massive increase over previous budgets and a testament to the government's commitment to change. Yet the success of this proposal depends heavily on how effectively it's implemented, whether accountability standards are upheld, and how closely expenditures are monitored. In summary, Nigeria's proposed N47.9 trillion budget for 2025 reflects a vision of economic growth, self-sufficiency, and improved quality of life. With targets like a 6.4% GDP growth rate, a $75 oil benchmark, and a stabilized exchange rate, the government's goals are ambitious but necessary for moving Nigeria forward. However, challenges abound. From rising debt to inflationary pressures, each step will require careful management and public transparency. Stay tuned here on EduM News, where we'll continue tracking the budget's progress and analyzing its impact on Nigeria's economy, development, and future.